And David left.
All right. Nathan in New York. You're on with V and Matt. Uh-oh.
Hey, how you doing?
It says here you're neither theist or atheist. That's like saying I'm not human or non-human.
Not really.
It is really. But, okay. I mean, you either believe there's a God or you don't. There's no other option.
Well, I wouldn't really think of it that way, but
it's either raining or it's not, right?
That's in regards to a situation that's different from defining.
Yeah, but it's true for belief. You either believe that it's raining or you do not believe that it's raining. And your belief about raining is still binary, and it's also independent of whether it's raining or not. Anyway, I won't make you go down that road. What did you want to talk about?
Well, actually, I almost want to switch the subject. But initially, I was calling had a little hypothesis or a little thought in regards to the Book of Genesis, as far as the creation story, having some similarities to some basic similarities to what people understand as I'm forgetting the word now. As far as how things came into being through. I'm forgetting the word. I'm getting stumped. Maybe because I'm nervous right now.
Sure. So we have the scientific explanation that includes evolution to explain the diversity of life, but we have scientific explanations regarding the orders of events, about how old the universe is, how old the sun is, how planets form from accretion disks, and then there are the claims in Genesis.
Right. So,
and they're not similar.
The creation stories are I don't really agree with the creation stories. I do believe that they're pretty much on the myth side, but I do think there is a few things that are not too far away from what evolution would be considered as what we think of it today.
Okay, so everything the Bible talks about that would be related to evolution is inaccurate. But when we talk about the origin of everything, the fact that there's a mythical account that people have shared, it's how surprising is it really that it would be at least somewhat comparable or consistent to what we've found to be the truth? If we're trying to explain how everything got here, why would it be surprising that we would speculate and get some of it right? Because we don't have any reason to think that, like, universe creating pixies did it, or that the sun is a thinking, active agent that reached down and formed the earth. But when we look at this, I just don't see why it's surprising to people to say, oh, well, they got some things seem kind of right.
Also, is that going to be the thing that makes you into a theist? If hypothetically we were to say, yes, there are some things in Genesis that might kind of sort of correspond with some parts of evolutionary theory, would you become a theist?
No, not that in and of itself, no.
Okay, so why talk about that?
Well, it was one of the topics I had on my head, and I was, asked what topic I wanted to go on.
Sure.
My main topic I actually was first considering that I backpedal on was in regards to morality, but because I don't believe in morality at all. I think it's a convoluted concept that humans keep holding on to, and I think it's nonsense.
Okay, when you say that, are you talking about the moral decisions we've reached, or just the concept that there could be anything that is better or worse than something else?
The concept of morality being that there's things that are better or worse. That's only based on perspective of the person or the person's affected.
Well, the thing is,
benefactors and positive benefactors in any decision a person makes.
so that's the reason we have stuff like John Rawls' Veil of Ignorance, where you design the world that you're going to live in, not knowing who you're going to be in that world. So we can.
That's impossible.
It's not impossible. Why is that impossible? It's a sort of abstract thought exercise we do all the time. It's okay. You and I are going to play a game. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So we have a board, we have pieces, and we're going to design the rules of this game. Now, one side is going to play the blue pieces, and one side is going to play the red pieces. And you don't know whether you're going to be playing blue or red. So I want to implement a rule that says whoever starts with the blue pieces gets 4 moves before the red person even starts. You okay with that?
No, I wouldn't be.
What if you're the blue player? Wouldn't you like that?
Yeah, if it was to my advantage.
Yeah, the reason you don't like it is because you've looked at it from the point of view of the blue person and the point of view of the red person, and you're like, that red person's getting screwed. So you just did the thing that you said you couldn't do.
No, I think you misinterpreted it. That's only of looking at it from a more of a selfish point of view. And we're only talking about one rule that we just said, or we're discussing whether we agree on.
Yes, I came up with a simple example to illustrate the point. The fact that you may not be able to do it for everything doesn't mean that it's impossible to do. And so if we can do it for that rule, we can do it for the next rule and the next rule and the next rule and the next rule until we have chess. And instead of blue and red pieces, we have white and black pieces, and each piece has their things. And we now have a set of rules that people are okay sitting down at the board not knowing which side they're playing.
Okay, well, we already have, in my opinion, we already have a real-life example of another game we play that is constantly manipulated based off of
Do you think
making new rules, or which is money? Money is
sure. Do you think it's a bad thing that people manipulate it?
No.
You don't think it's a bad thing that people manipulate it?
No, because it's only coming from a selfish point of view, and every human being is selfish.
Right.
Whether they believe they're not acting on selfish motives every time.
Okay, so if I go in and specifically manipulate the system to cost you more of your income than anybody else, you don't have a problem with that?
I have a problem with it, but I have to find ways to manipulate it myself to my benefit as well.
Oh, okay.
That's my responsibility.
So your morality is based on looking out for yourself, and you're okay with people screwing you over as long as you're able to screw them over too?
No. The problem is that...
Is it morally wrong to own another person as property?
Well, check the 13th Amendment. And also, let's talk about...
What the hell's the 13th Amendment have to do with morality? I'm asking you whether something's moral or not.
It's not immoral, because your 13th Amendment in the United States government says it is okay to have slaves as far as for the
okay.
You're talking about prisoners. And also another form of that would be something like paid internships. That's a slavery contract itself.
God.
Prison isn't slavery. Internships aren't slavery. I'm done with that conversation because we're almost completely out of time. This whole thing about, morality is just a construct. Yeah, it is. It's us looking at things and saying, hey, if we keep this rule, the world gets better by and large for most or all of us. And if we implement this rule, things get better. I find it almost as absurd that somebody would say they don't find owning another person as property to be immoral, as I did when our previous caller suggested that she would be okay being my slave.
Oh my gosh.
And
also, how in a society that in any other, how long do you think a society would last if everybody played by that rule?
Yeah,
it would fall apart.
And this is the anarchy thing, and this is also, to some extent, some forms of extreme libertarianism, which is kind of like I got mine, screw you if you can't get yours type of thing. And it's something that I don't agree with. But I'm fine with the notion that the caller and I may have different views. right up to the point where you want to simultaneously suggest that something is wrong and that nothing is wrong. That's if P, then not P, all over again. We're connecting the lines through all the calls on the